daughter got me this. I'm supposed to be drinking it all day.
Yeah. Van Glorious, Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United Front.
Tell it.
What you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square solid and you circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick a can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K.
We live. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and we have definitely got in store a historical monumental in my Busta Rhyme voice. You understand what I'm saying? A miracle. We got a miracle in our midst today. You understand what I'm saying? One who has figured out the alchemical science of activating both hemispheres of the brain simultaneously and has used this alchemical skill to replicate a structure to where our youth who may be lyrically inclined or attuned to sound, frequency, and vibration, and our youth that are enamored with and captivated by historical data and all of those levels of literacy together to create a super Heru that is, known throughout the world. So we got the architect, we got the scientist, we got the oracle, we got the magician, we got the 3-card Monty, all together in one self. And that one self is our hip-hop educator. My brother, your brother. Jersey in the building tonight. So if you from any other place, I don't know what to tell you today. You understand? This is a Jersey situation right now. Brother, your brother, hip-hop's own Rock in the building.
Peace, man. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the words from the heart. Peace.
It's all love. I told you I had a little something for you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Those words was beautiful, brother. I appreciate every last one of them.
Oh, it's all good, man. I was talking to Speech from Arrested Development, and I talked to Speech, Billy Dance, and Haj G all in the same day. That was crazy. It was a crazy day. Wow. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for Speech made it okay for me to have the African medallion in dashiki, even though I had to fight because of it. You understand what I'm saying? So you see everybody with medallions on and dashikis and unks and all of this African garb on now. Cats was getting duffed out by my fist and feet to defend my family honor. You understand?
Right.
Because of what I had on. It looked like I stepped out of a spaceship. Me and my siblings, like we stepped out of the spaceship some kind of way. And we were just carrying on family tradition. We were walking in these particular spiritual schools of thought. So Speech made it okay to talk about Africa. It made it okay for us to be proud, You see what I'm saying? To have that kind of through line and pride. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't the progenitor. However, cats had missed X Clan if they wasn't already in tune. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So they could look at X Clan and and we ain't no different. PE, no different. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But all of that through line was Arrested Development. You see what I'm saying? And when I had to take the garb off and break a cat jaw, MOP made that okay for me. You
Yeah.
understand? It
Yeah.
made MOP Onyx made it very, very, very astutely okay for me to, put the Gore-Tex on and get busy.
Yeah.
You see what
True
I'm saying?
indeed. True indeed. Those
So
some boots right there.
so and then you look at the UFCs where they versatile talent, they was the superhero. So when I wanted to get in the superhero bag and you know, I wanted to be somebody, I could look at the UMCs and the UMCs provided me with that alter ego
Hmm.
to be able to come in and do that work. So alchemically, I'm saying I mentioned all three of those personages, and I can point to you and say that you embody them all. But what you provided
Hmm.
as a through line to speak to every level of the creativity of the young black mind. There's a place for them. If they want to be intellectually stimulated by this, you got it. Tech savvy, you got it. Historically, you got it. You understand what I'm saying? It's cool to be smart. Again, you see what I'm saying? And if you got some grit to you, wherever you at, that's cool too. We're gonna give you this alchemy in this particular way. You see what I'm saying? So it sound
Right.
rugged, but it's smart. It sound rugged, but it's smart. You see what I'm saying? So it's there for every flavor. You know what I'm saying? You really got more flavors than Baskin and Robbins. See what I'm saying?
True. Thank you.
So
Thank you, bro. Thank
I
you.
definitely want to know the story behind the story. And, we could get into that. You see what I'm saying? Because I think I introduced you, so you ain't got to introduce yourself. How was this
True indeed.
concept born, and what need? What was that need assessment kind of situation look like? What did you find that sparked you to move in this particular direction in regards to, you know, freeing a place that was locked down and replacing that lock so it's impenetrable?
Well, I think the genesis of everything is the way that I grew up. Um, Being in New Brunswick, New Jersey, first living in the projects, moving out of the projects to another building. But it was just one building, so we didn't consider the projects, but it's like one of the only buildings on Livingston Avenue. I was always surrounded by people that wanted to have interesting conversations, even though I wasn't in them. So I was always surrounded by 5%ers. I was always surrounded by Christians. I was always surrounded by Jehovah Witness. I was always surrounded by, I went to Catholic school. You know what I'm saying? As you know, trying to get me away, even though the school was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I was always surrounded by these elements of different conversations, different arguments. You go to the corner, the guards, and everybody is having these interesting, heated discussions. As I got into my teenage years, I'm moving from New Brunswick to Willingboro, but I started rapping in that time frame, but it wasn't educational. It was just battling. It was just, but you can hear different things in the words that I'm using, even though I didn't really mean to do that. You know what I mean? It's just, you pick up these things. You're in this conversation, even the way that I talk now. I practice African spirituality, but a lot of people say I sound like a 5%. You know what I mean? But I know what I'm saying. You know?
I need to sneak it real quick because you
Mhm.
just said something that don't mean nothing to everybody else. But if you from North Jersey and you move to South Jersey, that's another cultural shift. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, so you saying
yeah,
from Rutgers, you see what I'm saying? Like over there from Brunswick, you see what I'm saying? New Brunswick in
yeah.
that area, that's like, okay, I'm going from north to Patterson or north to Passaic or north to Clifton on that
Right.
side. You see what I'm saying? Or Rawway or Edison or whatever.
Broadway,
But
Edison, no
but
doubt, I'm right
leaving
there.
but leaving that North Jersey, no matter where it is. You understand what I'm saying? And going to Willingboro, okay,
Yes.
going down there to Burlington County and all that shit. You understand? Like that is a whole nother planet. You like, is this still Jersey? Like, who the fuck? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yo,
so I,
the,
I had to sneak that in. You see what I'm saying? I need to know a side question. What was that reception like leaving North Jersey and going to uh what you call
Willenboro.
it? The
When I
the
moved to
the valley. The valley
nah,
of
yo, let me
Willingboro.
tell you, brother. Let me tell you. Let me speak on this, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I had that same mentality coming to Willingboro. But I'm coming from New Brunswick. I'm coming from I've been kicked out of like 3 or 4 schools, and so I'm moving to an area. I was living with my mom, court, all this, all that. Now I'm living with my dad, right? So that's how that goes. So now I'm in this new environment. I always I played football, so I played sports. You know what I mean? I was a nice football player. So you get to a new town. Practice starts in August, so I'm already kind of what I mean, and I'm a good player, so I was already good, man. I could rap. The first day of school, without me knowing what to expect, in Willingboro, New Jersey, it was the craziest battle rumble I had ever seen. You got to mind you. So in Willingboro, I'm coming from New Brunswick. My best friend, who's my best friend to this day, his name is Steve Hill. Matter of fact, he's on Magnum PI every Friday playing TC. He's coming. He's from Harlem. My other man, he's coming. He's from Philly by way of Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? You have all of these. My other man is from Paterson, New Jersey. My other man is from North. You have all of these because you have all of these black families. Like, yo, we got to do this, or we got to move to this area to escape this, escape that. But you're all coming here. So my first day in Willingboro in the 7th grade, going to Kennedy, whoever it was just an all out battle rumble, and I just fell in love with the town. You know what I mean? It was wild, unexpected. Everybody was fighting. My man was getting chased. You know what I mean? It was crazy. And from that moment on, man, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I loved every moment that I spent in Willingboro. It's my second home. I always try to hold it down. I'm New Brunswick born and raised, but I moved to Willingboro, and it was what it was. But you had at that time, you had people really coming to that town trying to escape this, escape that. A lot of people coming from Philly, a lot of people coming from North Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And just moving into this town and trying to make it work. And everybody's kids was bad. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was, I just loved it, man. I love playing sports and rhyming and doing what I do. I was very, very comfortable in that environment because it wasn't as hood as we was up North Jersey. Like everybody was living in a house. Everybody had like a backyard and a front yard, and everybody had bikes, and so it was a different environment, but everybody was still wilding. You know what I mean? So it was different. It's not like we was all standing on the corner drinking quarter waters and you know what I'm saying, just sitting on the stoop and your man, it wasn't that. You know what I mean? It was really people having paper routes and trying to work, but they was just still wilding. You know what I mean? So it was a very, very interesting. It was interesting, man. Willingboro is an interesting place. Right now, you know what I'm saying? It's off. Willingboro is off the hook. You know what I'm saying? They call it Killingboro these days. You know what I'm saying? Willingboro is wild. And
Mm.
it's always my second home. So I definitely try to, I be in the borough. You know what I'm saying? I be in New Brunswick, I be in the borough. My people's devout. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's it's just one of them things, man, where you learn to adjust and you learn it ain't where you from, it's where you at.
Right.
Like
They'll
that,
ask
man.
why
And that's
Kim
real.
like.
Word.
Yeah, part you were saying in the story about the
Oh,
vision, you know what I'm saying, what
right.
what you saw. I
I
just had to
I
make
right,
that little
right.
inference
So
of it,
yeah, so what ended up happening was now I'm in Willingboro. Now rap, I'm a little old. Now I'm 12, 13, 14, 15, getting into that age, you know what I'm saying? But the same conversations are happening. because just like in New Brunswick, where you had all of these people, now you're having all of these people. Now you got the nations of the gods, and you got the the brothers that's in the nation, and they're just going at it. You know what I'm saying? People are coming like, yo, if you don't know your lessons, you know what I'm saying? I never went through none of that. You know what I mean? But that was a real scenario where people was coming up and questioning you, and you had to drop it and know this and know that. So I was a Christian at that time. You know what I mean? I'm a Bible reading Christian. I'm a Jesus loving, all of that. So at that time, but I'm still rhyming. You know, everybody had a religion. You know, I'm still doing what I do. You know what I mean? So, but everybody was something. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to learn more about Christianity at that time to deal with these cats, so I can have proper arguments, and that content starts spilling into the lyrics. Slowly but surely, you started hearing different scriptures, you know what I mean? But I'm saying it in this type of way, you know what I mean? Or, having these references, and, I still do it today. You know what I'm saying? I still have biblical references in my lyrics, but you started to see a piece of that develop and develop and develop without me even being conscious of it, because I was a battle rapper. You know what I mean? I'm coming off battling people. I'm coming from beatboxing, breakdancing, having battles, moving to Willenboro, having more battles. Even when I got to college, my thing was, I'm gonna come in here, and whoever want to battle, we could battle. That was my thing. But still being lyrical, still telling stories, and still having these words come into play. The educational joint made a full twist as a young man. I got to a point where I absorbed. So now I'm a college graduate. You know what I'm saying? Now I've been reading, I've been doing this. Now I'm questioning all types of religion, but I'm gaining all this information. I'm reading the ISIS paper by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. I'm reading, everything on Malcolm X. I'm starting to get more not. And now I'm out of Rutgers. I've been taught by Ivan Van Sertima. Now I'm reading, Sheikh Anta Diop. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting to a point where everything is just coming out into the lyrics. And I'm like, yo, you know what? My first idea was I was gonna make a song about like Illuminati and the presidents and who was involved in this and who was involved in that. That was gonna be like my first educational joint. And my man knew from Irvington, New Jersey, who we met at Rutgers. He came to me and he was like, yo, I want you to be on this project that I'm doing for kids. I want you to help us do this educational project. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm already working on something anyway, so this is going to work. The first song I ever wrote that was specifically educational was the first 25 presidents, which is on lesson 1. So it's a very different version from the version that I was working on, because I was going in on all these presidents. But when my man said it was for kids, like between 7 and 10, I changed it. You know what I mean? And now it's like a positive, hey, these was the presidents and all that. But after I did that, I fell in love with doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote the first 25 presidents. Then I wrote the Moors. Then I wrote Black Women in Congress. Then I wrote Kings and Queens. And it got to the point where I'm like, yo, I'm not going to stop this. The business that we was doing and the project that we were supposed to put out, it didn't come to fruition. But I had my soul was already into this. So it didn't matter what anybody else was doing at that point. So for me, that began the birth of, you know what? I'm going to put an album together. I'm going to start a company. It's going to be called Smart Music Entertainment, and I'm going to get this music out here. And that, I would say that was really around 2007 when I started writing and started coming up, and then we started getting into the schools. I was always for the kids. Everybody who know me know I was always doing something with youth. You know what I'm saying? I hate bullies. You know what I mean? I was always that guy. So I knew that no one was going to give me no deal or nothing like that. This is educational music. So I already had the mind frame of, I'm doing this for the babies. I'm gonna make my own company. I'll put it out to the babies, and then I'll get it to them myself. And whatever happens, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Like if they absorb it, I'm cool. Lesson 1 did so good. Amazon bestseller. People all around the world started listening to it. The shows kind of went from me doing, high schools and this to, getting bigger shows and doing festivals. Like it was a progression. It didn't happen overnight, but it was a real grind. It was a real progression. But we started in them schools, we started in those after school programs, those auditoriums. You might have got paid $50. Schools don't, especially if you're in Newark and you in Camden and they don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you're not G'ing off. This is strictly for the kids. You know what I'm saying? But the demand for that kind of, people like, yo, you dope, you can rap, and I like this music, and it's different. You know what I'm saying? Not different as opposed to, I'm not the first educational hip hop artist. I know there's KRS-One, you know what I'm saying, Edutainment. I know there's Poor Righteous Teachers, I know there's the joints by Ras Kaz. I look up to these brothers. I listen to all of their music. But I do think that I created something that was just a little different from what everybody else was doing. So it was that demand, that worldwide, I'm rhyming for years, all sorts of stories, all sorts of numbers, all sorts of I'm the guy who got 1,000 stories that didn't work right. But now I'm doing this for the babies, and now everybody in the world, you know what I'm saying, from Africa to the Middle East to, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing interviews in Germany now and all that from educational music. So it was like, cool. And then that was like, yo, you know what? I want to do another project. I just want to make it a little bit bigger. And then we, you know what I mean? So that's 2007. I put out Lesson One in 2012. We just dropped, Lesson Two came out a year ago. You know what I mean? So and then The Wolves with me and Capone came out. You know what I mean? Which is another educational project. And right now, Black Matters is out, which is just a compilation of songs that I have specifically about Black people. Not all of them, just a taste with this new album, Black Matters, which is about to drop. And then I just, it's something that I just wanted to continue. I naturally do this. I read all the time. I rhyme, you know what I mean? So it was really just a natural man. I'm not forcing this. I'm not under no stress, no pressure. I'm good money, you know what I mean? But I like doing this. And it's just a matter of figuring out how we more creative. What else do people need to know? I got another album that it's going to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? We really going to take it into different levels, trying to teach people about different things. But that is pretty much a real synopsis of how you go from breakdancing on cardboard on Livingston Avenue and Townsend Street, right on the corner, to beatboxing at St. Peter's in the 4th grade, 3rd grade, and getting kicked out of there, going to Hillcrest in another town and forming a group and rhyming and battling, and then getting to 7th grade in Newtown and rhyming, and then going to the studio and making joints, and that, all of that stuff played a part in my training. So why it's kind of, I'm not going to, it's kind of easy, you know what I mean? But I can do this, you know what I mean? I can formulate those educational lyrics and give it to people in a way that I think is special.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Being plugged in with our youth in all of these instances right here. What's some of the lessons learned? What are we missing as adults? Where's the disconnect? What's the message that our youth are trying to convey to us and we trying to convey to them that we need to do better at?
I think we have to do a better job of teaching. I once heard a brother say, "Why is the youth wasted on the youth?" And I was a young man. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, he might be saying it to me at the time. But when I became a man, I'm like, well, the answer to that question is because we aren't teaching them properly. The youth is not wasted on the youth. You know what I mean? They need better teachers. We can't just look at the youth and be like, yo, they wilding. Yo, that's the youth. Yo, I don't listen to their music. We're creating our own disconnection with them. You know what I mean? Like, we doing that. We the OGs. We are the teachers. They're the students. If we're like, yo, I'm leaving, I'm not going to teach you, what are we expecting? So I think as adults, man, we really got to stop just turning our backs on the young generation and just counting them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a natural progression of life. You live in phases. You're not born a grown man. You're born. You know what I'm saying? You're a boy or a girl or whatever. You hit your, you know what I mean? You need advice and guidance through all of those steps. And when you get to the point where you are a grown man, you need to be able to turn around and tell the brothers that's going through the same things that you're going through some of the things that they can expect, because we do live in a different world. There are going to be things that's new, but there's still wisdom, there's still guidance, there's still things that we can teach them, there's still things that we can, bring awareness to, you know what I mean? So that kind of frustrates me with my generation and people older, just constantly be, just disqualifying young people, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I, that would be my thing. Like, yo, stop doing that. We are the teachers. You can't blame the babies for being whatever they are, and you don't look at the parents at all. You just can't do that.
Ecclesiastes say ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So we're seeing with our parents hated our music. And in turn, we hated our parents' music. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
this was a real thing. The only time when the music became acceptable to our parents' ears is they heard something that they remember. So
Those samples.
you you hear Biggie over the Isleys.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Juicy
the
fruit.
list, right?
Stuff like that.
The list can go on and on. You see what I'm saying? Like all together, and this is what that sample provided, a through line.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So from one generation to the next generation, the through line becomes the music. If you're listening for a language, these children's language was Das Effect's language, was Lord of the Underground's language, was
Do it
Fushniken's
all day.
language. You see what I'm saying? Like, so all of it, there's a language that's in there. You have to find their
Mm-hmm.
language. You see what I'm saying? Hip hop began as a group and it was a party. You see what I'm saying? So, and they had weird clothes on.
Yes.
You see? So,
Yes.
is this the cycle? Is
Grandmaster
this
Flash and the Furious Five did not dress like the people that we grew up
right?
around.
Right. So we created a style of dress, and they adapted the style of dress before us from what they were already doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the youth saw that every generation creates their own lane and through line. That movie, Superfly, the new one with the young brother
Yes.
in there,
The young brother.
when
Yeah.
he dressed that way. You see what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
then when the cat from the Y was like, "Yo, you really took this Morris Day and the Time stuff, to another
Right.
level." He said, "Who
Right.
the hell is
Remember that.
Morris Day?"
Right. Because
He
he was talking
said,
about the hair, I
"Who?"
think.
Right? He said, "Who?" And the clothes and all. He said, "Who the hell is Morris Day?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Ooh, that was deep."
Yeah, it was.
Because it's the language, so the language can be a through line or the language can be a barrier in communication, depending on
Right.
how multilingual you are or multifaceted you are. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
if we dealing with this and we could go back to lessons to say some are cool and calm and others are swift and changeable. Is a time for you to be cool and calm. Is a time for you to be swift and changeable. You see what I'm saying? So you have to
Yeah.
look at that adaptability and be able to see how these things go and go with the flow and ebb when it ebbs and flow when it flows. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
all of these things together, you know, creating space and lane for a continuous flow. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it take, trial error. In sales world, they say you need 7 to 10 exposures in order for somebody to get it one time.
Hmm.
So this is why this repetition, this is why you see the same commercials, this is why you hear the same songs, all this stuff over and over. So your subconscious or your unconscious receives it before you actually acknowledge it. This is how they can do these things with music. So you can know all the words to the song. You didn't sit down and learn the lyrics
Mm-hmm.
because your subconscious or your unconscious already acknowledges it and it agrees with it. You see what I'm saying? You may not even like it, but you know every word
Yeah.
to the song. You ain't take no time to study it. You see what I'm saying? And they'd be
Yeah.
like, well, if you learned this math, like you learned these books, like you learned this hip hop, you would be a genius. But this was speaking to a part of you that was
Mhm.
introduced to you in a way that was subtle. So if you look at it another way, you see what I'm saying? You deal with this thing from the perspective, if you taught mathematics in that way, they would retain it. So you
Right.
see these teaching modalities had to change and upgrade. So now they're hip hopping, counting and numbers and things like that. And you're not sedentary anymore. You're up and you're active and you're engaging. You see what I'm saying? So these things, how it was introduced to you is what you're going to do with it. So if you
Mhm.
got it wrong, you're going to continue to do it wrong. But if you got it
Mhm.
right, you're going to continue to do it right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
teach,
Yeah.
teach your child in the way that they should go, and they shall not depart. We back in the book again. You see what I'm saying? So it's adaptable for all
We back
times
in the
and all
book again.
seasons because there's nothing new under the sun. And our
Mhm.
ancestors knew it, and they tried to cheat code. You see what I'm saying? They tried to show us our life before we lived it to see if we would make the same mistakes they did, and we still had to make the same mistakes anyway. So at least they said,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's leave this little uh, thing on how you get back from it because we ain't all die from it. How you get back from that? You in a
Mm.
tough spot. How you get up out of it? You see what I'm saying? So it's really there, and how you supposed to leave a legacy for those who come after you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just
Right.
it's just interesting to be able to connect these synapses in the way that you've done with smart hip hop because that's a qualifier of what you're doing, what kind of product and offering that you're giving to the people. Smart hip hop. It used to just be hip hop because hip hop had those elementals that were there to engage you in that same kind of way. You know how
Right.
powerful memory is? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're dealing with the people that have genetic amnesia, spiritual amnesia,
Genetic
emotional
amnesia.
amnesia,
Mm.
psychological amnesia. They don't know who they are, where they come from, nor their origin in this world. So
Yes.
the
Yes.
fact that they can, you know, take all of this data inside and spit it back out, you're dealing with the illest technology and computer in the world. So
Mm.
now, if someone wants to be malicious or have malefic intent, I control what you take in, so I can already predict what you're going to put out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got
You
smart hip hop,
regurgitate what you digest.
right?
Word.
Right. It come out some way, either your mouth or your excrementory
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Your excrement. I got a line in Gods in the Motive. I says, so when you hear the lyrics, you're gonna be like, I'm the excrement. But yeah, it's in the Gods in the Motive joint.
I love it, man. I'm telling you. Are you still having fun?
Yes, man. I mean, for me, I got a wife and three daughters. I've always put family first. So, there'll be times when I'm just in my family zone, especially because, my mom is here. I haven't even been around my mom and dad at the same time a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't. There's a particular kind of way that I want to live. There's a particular kind of parent I'm going to be. So when it's family time, it's family time. You know what I mean? So sometimes I don't care about anything else. But I'm having a lot of fun creating music. Sometimes, especially as of recently, I go into the studio. I'm normally the guy that's coming into the studio with a bunch of songs and I want to hear it. I want everybody to hear it. Lately, I've been doing a lot of educational music, and my studio sessions are designed for that song. So I haven't been coming into the joints with mad songs but I've been in the studio and everybody's playing their new music, and I've been so inspired as of late. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Z Forte, man, who's one of them dudes that have really inspired me. But you get inspired by new artists to just go back into the booth and tear people's heads off, with your own talent. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just, very excited, but at the same time, we're moving. My daughter's going to college next year. You know what I'm saying? We got the 2 babies coming up. That's always going to be first for me, period, point blank, end of discussion. But at the same time, this love that I have for this music thing, you know what I mean? It's not going anywhere. I've been inspired. I have these new projects that I'm working out. I have the whole laundry list of songs that I want to conquer. I have information that I want to put out that I think people are confused about. We're going to get into the civil rights. We're going to get into classical music. We're going to get into Malcolm X. We're going to get into Paul Robeson, especially since I'm from Rutgers. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about and say and put it down in the right way, creatively, have the right energy. I'm having a lot of fun, man. You know what I'm saying? Even doing this last joint with Capone, really, it wasn't even supposed to happen like that. I just dropped lesson 2. We didn't even get a chance to really promote lesson 2 like that. I did lesson 2, and we kind of went right into the making of Wolves after I had an album release party in my hometown in New Brunswick. Which was crazy. Everybody came through. My mom even was out there and all that. It was dope. You know what I'm saying? But that project, it was dope battling Capone every day. You know what I'm saying? That we came into the studio and just worked out. People don't know. Well, the world knows, but he is a dope lyricist, and he has
We're about
this
to get into that.
incredible work.
I don't want to look. That is a place where I want to spend a little time right there. I want to spend
Okay,
a
all
little
right,
time in that cultivation. Okay, but you
no
said
doubt.
something very, very, very profound. You said you have 3 daughters.
Yes, my
Do
wife
you
and I, we got 3
know
daughters.
what God did in your life for you to have 3 daughters? How close you are to God with 3 daughters?
I don't know what you're saying by that. I do appreciate the blessing, and I'm
I'm
learning every
showing
day.
you that you are surrounded by God every minute of every day. You can have men around you, brother. You can have men around you. But men lie, men covet, and men want what you have because you have it. Not because they need it, because you
Because
have
you
it.
have it. True indeed.
If anybody has any kind of malice or hatred towards you, you have the greatest security system in the universe. You got 3 black women around you all day, every day that love you for who you are. You understand? And they have the vision from the ancestral realm to see where you're going to be. We walk into it.
Hmm.
We got sight. We got insight. They have sight beyond sight, and they love
Hmm.
you. You understand what I'm saying? They
Yes.
love you. So anybody that's around you, they had to pass through all of that security system. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
True indeed. True
You
indeed,
got
man.
cats that'll stay they down for you. Forget about it. The Incredible Hulk was created off of David Bruce Banner trying to be like this woman he saw lift up a car off of her child. And he was looking. He didn't have that place to go in, that other place, that mother place. You see what I'm saying? So in his anger and fury and rage, that maternal instinct of protection came out of him. It took gamma rays to get it in a man. It's natural in the woman. You see what I'm
Dang.
saying?
Yeah,
My mother
I didn't
loved
know that
me.
was the
It's
origin of the Incredible Hulk.
it's 7 of us, right? I got 6 other siblings. My mother told us it's 4 boys and 3 girls. She looked at us with the greatest and the greatest of her heart. Like she looked me in my eye, because I wasn't the one to hide behind her when danger came. I stepped in front of her
Mm-hmm.
to seek to preserve her life.
Mm-hmm.
She said, nigga, if you see me in the bear fighting, help the motherfucking bear. You understand?
Help the bear. Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the bear needs your help. I don't need it. You see what
Help
I'm
the
saying?
bear.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't emasculating. It was real. You see what I'm saying? So the kind of protection that you have around you that's there, you can't get it no place else. So I wanted
True
to take a
indeed.
moment to, share that with you. I'm sure you know it. I just wanted to share, with you so you know what kind of love you got around you. You see what I'm saying? That you can't find no place else. You can have a million men march and you won't get the same kind of love you got like that. You see what I'm saying? So uh,
True indeed. True
we
indeed.
in Black History Month. We dealing with black love. We dealing with black family. Uh, Share some a little jewels, a little insight that you done picked up along the way in regards to black family and the importance of black love.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, my daughters is running around the house now.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
man, it's that's I'm real blessed, man. I love my my wife, my daughters, man. They my world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a family guy. You know what I'm saying? It's you know got brothers, sisters, my dad, my mom. Aunts, cousins. You know what I'm saying? That that's my family. But and it's a couple friends that I consider family as well. But my wife, my three daughters. That's the epicenter of my world. As my daughters is running around trying to be quiet.
That's magic. Running around trying to be quiet. That's magic right there.
Word.
Real, real. So, in amidst of all of this confusion in regards to proposed virtual gender wars, you see what I'm saying? You got the, black men ain't this, black women ain't this type of situation. Uh, where should we spend our time from your perspective in regards to healing and redemption? Because got that song called Redemption. You understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
for the black man, woman, and child to redeem one another.
I think it's really important to highlight the positivity in our people, in our community. And when I say that because I think that there's energy that can resonate from me to you or from me to whoever's around me. If I am resonating this, if I'm constantly telling you this negative stuff, just because it might even just be my reality. But if that is what I'm giving you and putting out all day, then the vibrations around me and I'm creating this negative kind of circumference. So I feel like, positivity in some sort of way. If I can just, and when I say positivity, what I'm specifically talking about is telling you stories about our people that's going to help to uplift you. Not just telling you have a nice day. Because, I understand people with the positivity and just saying, hey, be cordial and all that. What I'm talking about is the messages or the information that you can tell people that'll make them be like, damn, for real, that's true. Let me digest that and come out in a different way. Just something by saying, don't say slave, say enslaved people. Just something like that, as opposed to I'm not talking about waving and saying hi. So when I'm speaking about that type of energy and that type of positive information, I'm saying we need to let people know the greatness of us, you know what I mean? Just so that you can have some pride, so that there's something inside of you that could spark. And maybe you just need to know other people went through what you're going through and they still are moving in a positive or moving in a forward direction. So I think that, it is very important for the people that can to put out positive energy because there's a lot of people that can't and who need it. So, you need to I'm not gonna say need to, that sounds kind of preachy, but it's dope to put out positive energy when you can. It's dope to let people know something different. It's dope to spark. I've been sparked by so many different people. You know what I'm saying? There's been so many frames of references that has changed me. You know what I'm saying? I became, I grew into manhood by listening to people like Malcolm X, Malachi or Dr. Ben. Those are like my uncles. You know what I'm saying? I listen, there's a Kaba community, there's a there's a long list of people who had a bunch of positive things to say. And some of them are controversial and all of that. But I digested a lot from a lot of positive brothers. Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? I digested a lot from a lot of positive. Stokely Carmichael, listening to these brothers, hearing those jewels, seeing what they had to say. There's just different things that resonated with me. That brought me out of a phase and helped me into manhood while I was a man. So it was, I know the importance of hearing different things so that it could just move you differently and cause you to think differently.
And if y'all wondering, yeah, we playing this. You see what I'm saying? We got that green on together. You see what I'm saying?
True
We
indeed.
did
True
that. We did
indeed.
that
Shout out to
together,
my
man.
man,
You see what I'm
Kashi.
saying? That we
Word.
hooked that up right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that shirt, brother. I
Yeah,
see
this
what's going on over there too.
that's my brother Joseph, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, he hooked us up right here. Indigenous Misfits. You know what I'm saying? Check him out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right around the
Indigenous
corner from me.
misfits.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Definition of supporting your own. You know?
I'm on it.
So
You already know.
good one. Yeah, so now let's get into this magnificent hip hop story collaboration. You see what I'm saying? Like the never ending story meets QU. QB.
Brother Capone.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to miss nothing. You understand? I don't want to miss nothing. How they say?
man.
Ain't
Capone and I, man, it's my brother today, and we didn't know it was gonna turn out this way, but I went into the studio to work on lesson 2. So my man Mercury Beats, Dave Halsey, who's a childhood friend, um, that's Merc Beats, you know what I'm saying? So he works with everybody. Merc is humble, so he is not as like he's Pharrell to me. He's Dr.
right.
Dre to me. But he's a really nice, humble guy. You know what I'm saying? Merc is, he's not no punk, he's not soft, he's not, you know what I'm saying, but he's a nice guy. So he's not as vocal, but Merc is the man, and he's in the middle of a lot more than you know. While I came to him and was like, yo, lesson 2, we reached out to Talib Kweli, got him on the joint. While we was wrapping the album up and ending everything up, the last song that I recorded for lesson 2 was Redemption, with my brother Capone, my brother Jack Sparrow on there, Cherry Pie's on there. So how it happened was Merc and Capone was working on a project together. They're working on the Dash project. I come into the studio, Capone kind of floating around. Yeah, that project is, I heard it. It's nuts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to tell you what my favorite songs, you know what I mean? Because I could talk about that album all day. I got like 30 damn songs. But I'm like, yo, could you introduce me to the brother so I can see if we could work together? Just on the professional. I didn't know him, you know what I'm saying? We were cool. Like we met in Merc's studio, dapped it up. You know Capone, so he's a cool guy. So that's all it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to him. Capone did his research on me. I didn't have, I already knew about him. So we met in the studio recording Redemption. That's the first day that we had an actual conversation. That's the first time that we kicked in and we met. So when you hear the song Redemption, it's myself, Jack Sparrow, and Capone and Merc. It was just us 4. We met into the studio. Jack Sparrow's my man, you know what I'm saying? So and we all had this competitive spirit. Now I came in there like, yo, Capone, I respect you, you know what I'm saying? You a lyricist. And Jack Sparrow came in there like, yo, I'm busting y'all ass as soon as I get in the booth. So he changed the whole dynamic of everything that was happening. You know what I'm saying? So it went from like respect and all that to like, yo, I'm going in here and I'm busting y'all ass. So I'm like, cool. So now we like, yo, well, let me get in the booth. Let me get in the, so now it's like this competitive thing. And it was a real cool vibe, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up recording the song Redemption. And after that, it was like, yo, let's shoot a video. You know what I'm saying? So it went from that song, us meeting, us having that conversation, not knowing each other, him not knowing me, but feeling our energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you not what I expected you to be, but as still he had his own preconceived notions of who I was at the time, which I learned later. We go from that, we shoot a video, and I'm like, listen, we rap lesson 2 up. So, that was the last song for lesson 2, the Redemption. We shot the video. So I come at Capone. I'm like, yo, could we, let's do another joint? You know what I'm saying? Because it was magic. We had a lot of fun. This is dope. CNN is one of my favorite groups, all that. He was like, cool. So we recorded another joint. You know what I'm saying? I think the next song we recorded was So What You See, which we got the video out for now. After we did that, you know what I'm saying? They had like it was like a Nas AZ vibe. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, this joint is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and we were putting the song together. Merk made the beat, but it's like, nah, I put this here. My man L, I was gonna say L Unique. My man Lamar is singing on the hook, who's a dear friend of mine. So after that moment, that's when the idea to do an educational EP came about. That's when Capone was like, listen, bro, I like this. I like how you get down. I got a lot of positive things that I want to say. Let's do this project. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. You know what I mean? And I'm like, cool, no problem. Let's jump on it. So that moment, mind you, we're still not friends. You know what I'm saying? We're just two artists working together and enjoyed the chemistry. But now we're getting together to try to plan this EP. Now we're coming to the studio multiple nights, listening to beats and having conversations. And now we're going out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Now things just started to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it just became a situation where Capone was like, yo, bro, I didn't know if he was like a nerd or a thug. He was like, you mad smart. I didn't know what to expect, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, but I see who you are, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, like we brothers, you know what I'm saying? He was like, because I'm thinking this, but you from here, you know what I'm saying? And it just worked, you know what I mean? It became a cool environment. It became a cool situation. We started spending a lot of time together and just started making music. So then we did Footprints, you know what I'm saying, on the Wolves joint. And then we did Black Woman, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, as we're coming up with these songs, they're based on conversations that we're having as we're in the studio. When we did Black Woman, it's because Capone came into the studio talking about Assata Shakur. We were just having a conversation about Black women. And I'm telling him about Queen Nzinga. You know what I'm saying? Because of how ill I thought she was. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, she's ill. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, nah, Assata Shakur. That is how Black Woman came about. It was a conversation. When we did Wolves, you know what I mean? We were in the studio talking about animals and how intelligent they were and how they, and I'm like, we should call the joint Wolves, you know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about that is I had to get reminded that I said that, you know what I'm saying? We in the studio, we chilling. So, it was one of those types of sessions where I had to be like, I said that, you sure? So even with that, it was a matter of now we're having multiple conversations. Now we got to have conversations about the songs that we're doing. The original title for Black Woman was The Black Woman is God. You know what I'm saying? So we had to sit down, meet up, have conversations, change things around. You know what I'm saying? We had people talking to us, like, nah, this is not, we can't say this. And so the friendship started to develop because of a mutual respect of who we were and how we worked together. And it was a respect of how we recorded. When Capone comes into the studio, he's coming to work. You know what I'm saying? He's not coming to play or like lollygag. You know what I'm saying? He's coming to really drop some rhymes. And I'm coming the same way. So like that lyrical professionalism was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was real cool because a lot of artists aren't like that. Some artists take mad long, you know what I'm saying, to do songs and all that. Like everybody ain't a pop type of guy. You know what I mean? So it's we had that going, and then it just kept developing from there. Now we hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I mean? It's now we going out. You know what I'm saying? Now we getting into stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Now it's, you know, now we got each other's backs in different scenarios I can't even talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it was once stuff like that started to happen, you know what I mean? A situation I had is Zach, a situation where he held me down and had mine, you know what I'm saying? And this was real stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with music. That's when things started to take a different turn. You know what I'm saying? Because you see what a person is when you're in the middle of something, as opposed to what you think about it. You could think whatever, but once you're going through something and you see how somebody move, then you really kind of know what's inside a man. You know what I'm saying? So we went through that. You know what I mean? And kind of came out of that, and then the friendship developed, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I call him my brother now. We didn't meet. I have a short list of friends that I call my brothers, and all of those brothers know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And they've been that way for over 20 years. So I don't add people to that list like that. Like, yo, you my brother. You know what I'm saying? I say family and stuff like that a lot, but when I'm describing somebody as my brother, you know what I'm saying? It means something to me. So all of that started to develop. That spilled over into the business. It spilled over into different projects. It spilled over into different things that we wanted to do together. And it's here we are, it's 3 years later, and we're working on a lot of new stuff, man. I still got a educational hip hop play I'm working on. I still got a whole nother album that I'm working on right now. Capone is, doing his, you know what I'm saying, working on mad stuff. Capone is Capone, you know what I'm saying? It's a legend. I'm not Nori, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to put myself nowhere near like nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying Capone is my brother. We developed a friendship and we do music and business together, but outside of that, we're friends. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, we just developed a friendship.
Yeah, that's real. That's a beautiful thing right there. To have it all the way around. So I'm saying 360 degrees. That's a miracle. Again, so when I said a miracle at the beginning, I wasn't just talking that shit. I just want you to know that. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's a miracle. You know what I mean? Like these kind of things don't really happen like that. But when they write, they do. They happen organically in that fashion. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
You know what I
So
wanted to add to that before, not to
right.
cut you off, but you said my daughter, you gotta go through my daughters, you know what I'm saying? So, we've been to Pone's house, my daughters have been over there. Our kids know each other, you know what I mean? This is it's not just me and him, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my daughters call him Uncle Pone now. You know what I mean? Everybody, we had to get on the phone with some happy birthday yesterday. All of us, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say that because you brought the daughters up.
That's how it works. See what I'm saying? And that goes to another aspect of, what I wanted to ask about the conversation. I'm interested in your, path towards spirituality or awakening, whatever you want to call it. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And some of your lessons learned along the way. 'Cause, you touched on it at the beginning, you know,
mhm.
in that way. So if whatever you want to share with us in regards to your spiritual journey and some of your takeaways.
It started, my my grandmother, my grandmother raised me. I'll say that. But so when I say my grandmother raised me, just so you understand the importance of what I mean here, I'm living with my mom. My mom would drop me off to my grandma. It might be for like 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So I'm that kid. You know what I mean? Like, I see my dad, you know what I'm saying, when I see him type thing. He's a man in my life and all that, you know what I mean? But you know how that go. So my grandma is the rock in my life. She paid for me to go to college. I only applied to one school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I wasn't. It was there or something else. So she paid me. She paid for that bill for me to go to Rutgers. You know what I mean? So very you can't say enough about it. But that is a Christian household. So when I had to go to my grandmother's house, we went to church on we went to church on Monday. You know what I'm saying? We was at adult choir, we was at children choir, we was at Bible study was on Wednesday. I had to go to the men joint, you know what I'm saying? My grandparents is on the board. So I'm in, you know what I'm saying? The pastor is my godfather, you know what I'm saying? So I'm that influence was deep on me as a young child. You know what I'm saying? It was that along with going to Catholic school in New Brunswick, New Jersey, St. Peter's. You go to Catholic school, you go to Mass, you take religious classes. They're indoctrinating you. So Catholicism and Christianity, which people put into the same house, was the foundation, I guess, from me being born to me, going into 10, 11 years old, stuff like that. That's who I am, right? Arguing with Muslims, arguing with, you know what I'm saying, Jehovah Witness, or, just getting into those type of conversations. I said everything, my God's alive still, you can't. I'm a Christian. So what ended up happening was, like I said, I started to try to read more books because I wanted to be well versed in these different conversations that I'm having. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna get the drop. You know what I'm saying? Like I've read the Bible. I had one time I had memorized the books from back and forth. Like I was on it. Then I started getting the missing pieces of the Bible and reading this. And now I'm getting to a point where stuff is not making sense to me and I'm questioning it. But now it's like, well, have the blind faith thing. Cool. So Malcolm X, the movie comes out, right? I buy the book. My father is a wild Malcolm X fan. He's a Christian, diehard Christian to the heart, but Malcolm X is his man. So we would, drive and I'm listening to Ballad of the Bullet on CD on cassette tape. I'm listening to all of these. That's what my dad would listen to while we was driving around. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Malcolm all day, every day. That introduced me and I went after I read his autobiography. Now I'm interested into the Nation of Islam. Now I got Christianity, but now this is the black man's religion and this is what I'm supposed to do. And now I'm studying this. So now I'm still a Christian, but I'm beginning to pull away because Christianity is not making sense to me because you want me to believe things that I don't think necessarily happen. And now I'm getting introduced into this realm and people are saying, this is the black man's religion. This is the original, we the gods. This is what it is. So now I'm making that transformation. So now I'm still standing on Christianity, but now I'm confused and I'm open to Islam and I'm open to my 5% brothers. And now I'm reading all of the information that I can. Now I go to Rutgers. When I get to Rutgers, I take Old Testament. I take New Testament. I met my wife in Black religion class. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we met. I could have majored in religion. I just didn't really fill out the paperwork. But I took classes by Ivan Van Sertima. I took 3 of them. I took Blacks in Science, I took the Moors, and I took They Came Before Columbus. When you start getting into all of that, and I got so cool with Ivan Van Sertima, I almost had to drive him home one day from class. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, could you drive me home? You know what I mean? Like, and he wasn't famous. I ain't know about him. Nobody was mentioned. This is in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody know him. He's just my professor. But you have all of this stuff, and then when I took the New Testament, it was confusing because you get a different Bible and you start learning, and then you start learning there's different authors. So now you're learning about things from an academic perspective, and it's going against the church perspective. What do you begin to do, right? Coming out of that, I took a step back and I just looked at everything that I had taken in up until that point. I spent 5 years in college. I wasn't the 4-year dude. You know what I'm saying? It was rough. I didn't have the easiest time. You know what I'm saying? My wife helped me out a lot my last semester. But it was one of those situations where after I got out, I just had to take a step back and look at all of the information that I had gained up until that point. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back because I want to get to the origins of all this. I don't know where anything began. I have all of the stories, I have all of the constructs, but I don't know where none of this stuff comes from. I don't know, you know what I mean? What is the origin? So I went on my own journey and I went on my own path. I went to a Buddhist temple. You know what I'm saying? I started going to libraries. You know what I mean? Traveling the world. This was a serious journey that I went on. It wasn't something that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna open up a couple books. You know what I'm saying? I started buying rare books. Just doing everything and going to debates. Doing everything that I can do to get more information. I got to a point where, for me, because I know, different people, they have their own spiritual journeys, their own spiritual paths. But for me, 28, 29, going to a 30-year-old man, I got to a point where I stumbled across African spirituality, not knowing how deep it was. Because when you first get into that, you think that there's people walking around. I'm not going to worship a guy with a bird head or something like that. I didn't know what the symbols were. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take Jesus and replace him with a Sar or Osiris. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I need to know what's going on here. I'm trying to get to the root, to the bottom of this. What does this mean? When I came to that point, I ended up in the Nile Valley civilizations of ancient Africa, and I started studying those that group, and what they brought to the table, and how that I couldn't find anything older than that. Everything for me, that was the first. This Nile, the Nile rivers, the civilizations that come along that, and then you start seeing that these concepts come out of that. Then now I'm thinking about how that related to the stuff that I learned in college. Now I'm thinking about how I know the Bible and how these scriptures are now can be looked at differently once you take into consideration a different story, you know what I'm saying, or new information that you didn't know, and how you can, superimpose it onto this and it'll mean something different. I found a space where I began to understand things, even though I'm a novice. I've been studying this for years, but I'm still a novice, and there's still people that, like Ashra Kwesi, Brother Jabari Osaze, Shaka Akmos. There's brothers that I respect highly, who I feel I'm still brother Minister Inky. You know what I'm saying? He's a brother that I listen to. He's a brother that was able to connect the body and your health with these ancient texts, and how he was breaking stuff down. I came to a place where I felt comfortable in this arena, comfortable enough to sit in and say, I'm going to become a student and a participant, and this is now my faith, and I just got to learn more, which I am doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm quietly in the process of doing something that most people don't even know I'm involved in. But, you know, I got to that point of spirituality where I began to accept that this spirituality, as we call it, different from Catholicism, different from Christianity, different from the nation of gods and the earths, different from the nation of Islam, different from Jehovah Witness. Now it's spirituality, you know what I'm saying? Which was weird within itself, because what kind of name is that? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm programmed to call it something. So now getting into this, but just learning about these elements and learning about these truths, for me, I need to see what you're saying and be able to apply it right now today without having any mysticism. You know what I'm saying? Tell me how these people thought, why they thought it, what were they thinking about, and tell me how it applies to me today. So once I began to make those connections, that really began me saying African spirituality is the way for me. I just need to find out more about it. I got to go deeper into it. So I spent a couple years investigating. It's how I got introduced to Minister Inky. I met him, this was years ago. Like when I was talking to him, I said at the Armageddon War Conference. But I had already been to DC, took my family to see Cyrus Seti and all that before people was even talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Like I was already trying to go around and gather this knowledge from wherever I can, just to get comfortable with it and sit on my square with it. And I'm still doing that, but I'm comfortable enough that I can say this is what I practice. You know, I can lean on it. I pray. My head is here. So that's my journey. I'm still on it. So I don't have like no final questions. I can't say nothing definitive. But this is the path that I'm on. I think it was Malachi York and Brother Polite who I kept hearing say you take a long walk on a short path. And that's what I've been doing.
Very interesting. I got something I'm gonna send you. We
Okay.
gotta connect that after this thing go off. I'm gonna introduce you to some people too.
Listen, I got a sick library, bro.
Okay.
A sick library, bro.
I got one book to show you.
Okay.
Just one. I don't got 1,000 books to show you. I got one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you got it, you good. If you don't got it, I'm gonna give it to you.
I'll go to Trenton into one of the bookstores and they'll give you a box for like $5 and you can just fill it up with it, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm that guy. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? And know the dude and still communicate from that particular bookstore in Trenton. But you know, I do that.
So after we end this joint, I'm gonna show you the book, and if you don't got it, I'm gonna send it to you.
I will read it.
That's what's up. So I know we don't got much time left. I don't want to keep you up to midnight. You know what I'm saying? You already did that yesterday. You don't need to do that today.
I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'm cool. Iggy's a good brother, man. You know, we met and we had a good energy, man. Iggy's, you know, we just had good energy.
Yeah, that's a good dude, man.
True indeed.
One of mine. You know what I'm saying? That is one of mine. In a couple of days, since I'm looking on here, yeah, it was Barbershop Talk. That was my joint. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm going
shout
to
out
be
to my
on
man Elo Kush.
Barbershop Conversations podcast on Friday. I
Cool.
believe that's Friday or Thursday. Thursday or Friday? Thursday. Thursday
Be
going
there.
into Friday because it's 9 p.m. on the West Coast, so that's like midnight over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It is midnight over here.
And
Barbershop Talk featuring my man Elo Kush. My man Elo Kush is down with this group called the Angels Gang. We are all from New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's a million of them though. But that's my man. That's my man. Yeah, the Angels is deep.
So
shout out to Jada Gift. Shout out to my man Qua. Shout out to Son. You know what I'm saying? It's just the whole Angels game, man.
So yeah, I got another gift for you if you're willing to accept that joint after this here because of that. You know what I'm saying? So is there anything else that you want to bring people's attention to, you know, and for the artists out here that are looking to collab? Are you doing features? Are you working with anybody? Is that a closed group? Can anybody get a LAK feature? You know, how does that work? Because they'd kill me if I didn't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man. You know, we have music coming out. Capone and I, you know, we started this company called Smart Thug Entertainment, where we are going to really be putting out music and doing different projects. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be, we're going to give people that's like us a way to rap and talk and communicate and make the type of music that I'm trying to push out. So yeah, you know what I mean? Holla at me, man, especially if you are a brother who is talking in this framework, in this format. You know what I'm saying? And how we speak and how we do, as far as if you listen to Wolves, you know, we are looking for that. But yeah, hit me, man. I'm easy. My wife and I are business partners. So if you communicate with me, you might get a message from her and think it's me. but we are the same. I'm be sitting right next to it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we handle the business. But get at me, man. And if you'll know it's me by the way I respond. Like you'll easily know it's me by the lingo because I talk like I talk. My wife is very professional, so it's gonna be T's crossed and I's dotted. So it's it's clear distinction. But get at me on Instagram is Smart Hip Hop, Facebook is Smart Hip Hop. I'm accessible. Get the album out, the Black Matter album. It should be dropping soon. Barbershop Talk is on there. And just holler at me, man. I'm accessible. I'm doing features. This is music time. This is go time. So get lesson 1, get lesson 2, hip hop and education. Get that Wolves album and get ready to get hit with this Black Matters album. It should be out shortly, maybe a day or two. Respect to Do the Knowledge Radio. Knowledge born Allah. Peace to the God.
Peace, Almighty. I mean, I appreciate it. Appreciate this family conversation. You understand what I'm saying? With everything that's going on, it's going to be very interesting collaboration. You see what I'm saying? So now that I know that that's the Wiz, she gonna be like, "Yo, he can't make all these interviews." You understand what I'm saying? I'm opening up the floodgates for whatever I got and whoever I got, wherever I got. You know
I'm on it. I'm on it. It's only gonna be it's just gonna be like, LAK, you want to do this? Yes or no? Yes, I'm in. That's how that go. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this. You in? I'm in. That's how it works. I mean, I'm still not oblivious to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I might not be hitting the keyboard and all that, but I'm right there. Believe me.
This is my brother, Baba Amin Ojuwo,
Okay.
founder of the Uhuru Academy. I'm gonna link you with him.
I saw.
I tagged him in that post.
Yeah, I seen it on
I
Facebook.
definitely want y'all to connect. He has an African Centered program that would benefit greatly from your offering. Y'all need to connect. I was hoping that he could get on today, but I'll link y'all up.
Perfect. Perfect. When I saw the link, I checked it out on Facebook. Okay. I like the page and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with it.
All right. So don't say I ain't do my job. Okay, Baba, I mean, I did my job. Okay.
We on it. We on it.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And you got a shout out from Rusty Jukes out of Brooklyn. You understand what I'm saying?
Peace. Peace. Brooklyn in the house.
Gotta link y'all together.
I'm not gonna say nothing about the Brooklyn Nets. Nah. Brooklyn in the house. Enough due respect.
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation as y'all, peel back the layers on yesterday. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Have been since 1985, 86. You know what I mean? So
the Lakers and the Bears fan since 85. I just started playing sports in 85. So the Bears won the Super Bowl, the Lakers won the NBA championships.
Makes sense. I'm a 49er fan since around that time. I seen that.
They came out with the Super Bowl shuffle video, man. You know what I'm saying? Wildcats. You know what I mean? Like, man, I cut grass the whole summer, bought a William the Refrigerator Perry jersey. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was bared out. I was playing nose guard for the Franklin Warriors, living with my grandparents.
That's crazy.
That year changed my whole life. Moving from New Brunswick, I only lived with my grandma that 1 year consistently. That year that's why I do music. That's why I end up playing sports. That's why I read as much as I read. My grandma did that because I was wilding in New Brunswick. I was a bad little kid. You know what I'm saying? So my grandmother's from Alabama. When we moved there, it was ass whippings and it was a. You ever get stripped butt naked and beat with a switch? You know what I'm saying? It was a different experience. You know what I mean? So it wasn't hanging out all night. I had to sit in a room, and the only thing I had was a stack of books. I had a Walt Disney encyclopedia. That's it. Yeah. I'm going for my mom worked nights in New York. We still in cars at night.
Right.
7, 8, 9 years old. Joyride, going to New York. So moving to that year changed my life. I was still fighting. I still was not allowed to be in school for the last month of school. I had to sit in the principal's office the whole time. But I found my love of sports and my love of music and my love of reading in that 4th grade year. And that has shaped my whole entire life to this point.
There's a lot to say about that. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna bore the people with my ish with that. You know what I'm saying? one day we could choose to fit that on that one. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see. You'll be like, yo, yo. You know what I'm saying? So we got it for now. Make sure y'all support real hip hop, and not only for you, but for your entire generations, from your ancestors to your youth, can glean from these offerings that are out. You see what I'm saying? So in the space of celebration, in the space of elevation, we cultivating minds for our future. You see what I'm saying? Thanks to Smart Hip Hop. Thanks to LAK.
Salute to the God. Word.
Honest. So when I end this joint, I'm gonna show you the, you know what I mean? So just stick around real quick.
I'm here.
All right.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them that it's front. Yeah. Now we gonna tell them that it's front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
and
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.
Patty Theater with me, Oba. 30 plus episodes on spiritualism is now available on Vimeo and demand. Topics include spiritual cleansing, how to build your first Boveda, succubus and incubus, witches, warlocks, and many, many more. Browse the Omedina Productions Vimeo page and learn at your own pace. All lectures are available to buy and rent. And once a month, participate in an exclusive live Q&As brought to you by Omedina Productions and hosted by myself, Oba Adedaya. Visit omedina.com for details. See you soon.